all the men watching, please take note.
It is. It's not been easy to navigate. I'm a Bandra girl.
Yay!
A recipe for disastrous mental health. Firstly, I just want to say that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Let me tell you one thing. All the juicy stuff you think they're not going to put on air.
They will.
Yeah, I won't lie. It is tough.
A fabulous life, a fabulous wife, and what better than being right here, right now with her. Seema, thank you so much for talking to India today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Hesha. Thank you.
This is the house that we see in the show finally towards the last episode when you make it back.
Yes, back to Pavilion.
Back to Pavilion, and listen, you're giving me full LA vibes with Gigi.
Gigi, yes, Gigi.
Oh my God, congratulations. This show did so well.
Thank you.
And like deep down, I think season 3 is my favorite.
Really?
Out of all the other seasons.
Oh, wow.
And you know, if I have to talk to you about specifically what I enjoyed about you in the journey, I feel like you were always somebody who was super cool, who knew what she was saying, knew what she wanted, addresses all the elephants in the room with poise and dignity. But then this season, you came out like, listen, I got it all. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to take my time. Want to know your headspace while you were shooting it though?
You know, honestly, this has been one of the most difficult seasons to shoot because reality is not scripted, contrary to what people think. And to have conversations with 3 new people that you really don't know that well. I mean, you know them socially, I've known them for so many years and they're all lovely girls. But to actually, I mean, to go on holiday with someone and spend that kind of time with someone and have, you know, deeper conversations. And plus, I was also at a very vulnerable time of my life. I had moved and stuff. So I wasn't sure that, you know, how I was going to come out this season. But then again, I don't know any other way but just to be me. Yeah. So it was just like, I just kept telling myself every day, you do you.
Yeah.
Just forget it.
That's
don't overthink it, just do you.
Yeah, and you did it so well. I feel like you handled it really well. That's amazing. Yeah. But you know, I always want to ask you on behalf of all the other women watching, the fact that you moved from Bandra to town, like Worli, like what do you like better, Bandra or Worli?
No, dude, I'm a Bandra girl all the way. Having said that, I want to tell you, I don't regret it. I needed that 1 year. I think I was there exactly 1 year, exactly to the day. And I think that 1 year was a lot of self-reflection, and I was at a time in my life where I needed that little bit of self-reflection, and I spent a lot of time by myself. Like Bandra, there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and the doorbell rings like 20 times a day, and you know, someone going and coming, and there it was a lot of silence. So I was forced to kind of be by myself and introspect, and I think I needed to press pause, which a lot of people don't do because we live such a hectic, fast life that you go from one project to the other without actually pausing and, you know, reinventing and kind of re-evaluating your life.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and I think, you know, I feel it worked for me now when I look back.
So what's the 2.0 Seema version like right now?
Calmer, a lot calmer, clearer in my head. Yeah, clearer in my head.
You know, but also tell me something. So this is, I think, 2020 when I actually got hooked onto these reality TV shows, right? So I must have like binged watched everything. Dubai Bling, Kardashians, we've all like loved it, right? And then there was Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives, and then there was Beverly Hills and all of that. And I've always wondered and imagined myself like, wow, how is it going to be if somebody follows me like that? And when there are cameras around and I have to open my space and talk. Break all of it down to me, because you know, subconsciously and even consciously you know that there are cameras around you, right? So then how do you bring out the reality in those moments when you still know you're filming?
This is a family. You cannot do a reality show if you do not trust your team 100%.
Right.
And for me, all of them, from Manu to Naomi to Anisha to Mamlesh, the editor on the table, who I don't really, he doesn't come on set, but he's the editor. I trust with my life.
Yeah.
I am trusting with them with my life.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's the same even whether it's the light man Hanif, for example. I know who he is. So when they come home, you know, they are family to me. I'm super comfortable around them, and at some point you just, you know, initially maybe the first few scenes, okay, you know what, the camera is there, you kind of conscious about it. After that, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Really, honestly, you're like, you're just you.
From season 1 to now, did Kylie reply?
Kim.
Kim, no?
such luck.
Oh, man. We'll keep chasing her still
No
now.
such luck.
It can keep happening. But I'm sure, listen, Seema, right now, you all have become icons. You and all the other women out there, I feel everybody's talking about you all too much. At one point, I feel what's happening is that, okay, while you all have been guarded about your lives, etc., it's still letting a lot out, right?
Yeah.
I want to understand your thought process when you're trying to drop the walls down, but at the same time, you're like, no, I've burnt my hands before, I want to be careful. Like, how do you oscillate that shift?
I don't. I honestly don't. I go into it without overthinking or thinking too much. I just go with it to have fun and to be me, and whatever comes my way is very organic, and what it's really real me. I am a motor mouth. I have no filter, and you've seen in this season my running commentary is on. My running commentary is on. That doesn't change, and that's, you know, if I don't say the words, you'll see it on my face. Yeah, but I don't break anything down. I don't decide what I should say, what I should not say. I just say.
Yeah.
Sometimes the production has to come and say, like, you are kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I'm like, oh, it is what it is. What can I do?
Yeah. And what's your bond with the Delhi girls right now post-show?
You know, I've made 3 new friends, and I think that, you know, going from just social friends, now we have 3 more. I can't say that you can't get to a point where Bhavna, Mahit, Neelam and me are at.
Yeah.
That takes bloody years.
Yeah.
But they were great fun to have on the show. Clearly it's worked.
Yeah.
And they brought out a different side to our personalities, and I think that's what worked. Yeah.
So, Seema, from season 1 to 3, was there anything that you saw after it was aired? You felt like, oh my God, this probably I would have avoided if I knew better?
No. Nothing that if you're telling me that did certain scenes make me uncomfortable, they were uncomfortable to watch, yes, they were. There were certain things that were uncomfortable to watch, but then they were the truth.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, as long as, you know, the truth came out and that was the truth, I'm okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you now figuring your life out in terms of being, let's say, co-parenting when it has come with both of your kids, to now then being over here? And I hear there could be some acting chops as well coming in. So how do you want to like dabble into all of this personally and professionally?
It's a juggling act every day. I thrive in chaos. I am the most disorganized person. I literally thrive in chaos, and my life is forever changing in front of me. So I don't know actually. I'm just taking one day at a time, and let's just say I'm taking one day at a time. As long as I'm at peace and I'm very content where I am, I'm open to all sorts of new experiences. So this whole, you know, acting gig also, actually it's come my way not once but twice. And I've not really actively gone out there looking for anything. It's just fallen in my lap. So I was just starting to think that, you know, someone asked me that, are you open to it? And I'm like, I guess if it's coming to me means I am open to it. I should be open to it. I love trying new things. So never know.
What kind of conversations you have with like your female friends, all of them from the show or even apart, as far as just bonding is concerned? Because I feel there are so many people out there who can take away from the female friendships that you all have, which is not surface level, but a lot more deeper. Can look surfacey, but when you know the chats happen and somebody sticks through the entire show, they know it's not just that. So what's your tip or advice to everybody watching who's probably struggling to make good female friends?
You know, female friends are hard to make. Friendships, to make bonds like this, to forge bonds like this is not easy to come by. I think you need to treasure your friendships and work at them. Like any other relationship, whether it's your relationship with your husband or your kids or whatever, you need to work at it. And I think that, you know what, if somebody is dear to you and you feel that bond, say it. You know, don't waste time, say it. Work on it, make time for it, and just be authentic. That's it.
Is moving on from like dynamics, specifically when you've moved on personally, but you're still a public figure, difficult?
To move on? It's a journey.
Or like for it to just keep hovering time and again. Does it matter, or you don't like worry about it? Okay, for example, you already addressed your divorce, done past it, moved past it, moved on to another relationship, which you're very fiercely guarding, which is safe to say. But then it keeps coming up when you're like Googled or when you're looked up. And Neelam addressed something so beautiful in this show. I feel like that really touched me as a person on that.
It's not been easy to navigate, for sure. Especially from the point of view, of, you know, with, there are so many, we are not young anymore. I'm not young. I have a history, I have 2 children, and you know, my partner has 2 kids, and there are a lot more people involved. It's different when you know, you break up and you move on when you're younger. When you're older, you have to take everyone's feelings and everyone's sentiments into account. You know, so I think from that point of view, it's I wouldn't say hard, but I would say that there's a lot more you got to be careful about. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about you anymore. It's just not about you and him. But I think it's an organic, you kind of, it's either, it happens so when you least expect it.
All the time that happens with us women, for sure.
When they say, oh God, you're single, you have to meet someone, I just want to say, listen, dude, you can try all you want, but it's like, it hits you at the time you least expect it.
Was it tough to lead a single woman life?
Yeah, I won't lie, it is tough.
Like I'm a 33 single woman and I know how difficult it gets, and we're in an era where situationships are trending more than relationships.
Correct.
And that's just so messed up.
This situationship is a recipe for disastrous mental health. Just FYI.
All the men watching, please take note.
It is. It is a recipe for disastrous mental health, but I would not advocate it, because I mean, honestly, whatever rocks your boat, but I am from a little bit of an older school of thought where that is concerned, because I'm not that person. I'm not one for casual relationships. If I invest in whatever I do in my life, I give it my all.
Did your kids Google you after the show? Like, what were the boys telling
you? No, they
don't
don't need to Google me. I'm 24/7 entertainment for them. They're constantly trying to calm me down. Mama, calm down. Calm down, Mama.
Oh my God. But listen, you give me a very cool mom energy, but I feel low-key or helicopterish as well. Like, what are you in reality as a mom?
I am helicopterish. I think I've learned to be, from season 1 to season 3, I have come a long way where that is concerned, being a helicopter mom, but I like to be in control, and I've slowly, it's, you know what, even your children have their own journeys. You have to be there to support them 100%, back them, be there for them, but beyond a point, you got to let them live their lives, make their mistakes and learn from their mistakes. You can't keep being that hovering, you know, helicopter. Having said that, I'm 48 and my mother still hovers.
I'm 33 and my mom also still hovers.
You can hear those. If I haven't called her in, or she hasn't spoken to me in 3 days, and she's like, there's that helicopter, I know it's her. Like, she's looking for me through via everyone. Like, where is she? Have you spoken to her? She'll ask my siblings, have you spoken to her? Is she okay? Where is she? What is she doing? What is she thinking? I'm like, okay, if I can do that to her at 48, I mean, then
chalega, you can do it with your kids.
I have a free pass.
Fab. But, you know, speaking of free passes, tell me, how often do you let your kids have a free pass with you when they're being naughty?
Listen, can I tell you, I'm a very easy mom. My sister, for example, has her daughter and my younger one are very, very close. They're only a year apart, so they kind of grew up together. And she's always like, Masi, I want to come, but Mama doesn't allow me and everything. It's like a task to get her to come and stay with me, because my sister's always screaming at me. She says, you know what? Children and you are the worst combination, because they bully you. They bully you and they do whatever the hell they want. You have zero control. And the thing is that they're more like my friends. Like, you know, in the sense, they talk to me like my niece. She's like, Masi, I want this. And I'm like, your mother's going to kill me. She doesn't need to know. I'm like, okay, yeah, actually, she doesn't need to know.
Wow.
and my kids also, actually, they're like, Mama, you know what? Can I do this or can I have this? And you know, by the third call, I'm like, okay, fine.
Giving in.
Like even when my younger one sleeps with me, sometimes he's falling asleep and you know, he's cool the next day and he sleeps next to me. He's like, Mama, I need the TV off right now. It's disturbing me. I need to sleep. And quietly, I put the TV off and put on my headphones and watch on my iPad when I should be telling him, go to your room and sleep. And he's like, no, I want to sleep with you. So as you can see, I'm bullied.
You're bullied, for sure. You know, Seema, I have to pay you a compliment here. I feel like, of course, you were known as a designer and an entrepreneur, but then there was also this whole that you were somebody's wife, the whole Khan family situation. But with the show, and especially the 3rd season, I feel like you've broken away from that beautifully. And I feel now everybody knows Seema as Seema, this person that she is. This whole shape-shifting that has happened for you, how are you sort of taking it all in?
Look, firstly, I want to tell you one thing. I would not have this opportunity without my family, my husband, my ex-husband's family. I was still married when I did the first season. And the thing is that somewhere there, I share 2 children with them, right? To me, they're always going to be family. But it's not so much as breaking away from them that I looked at it. I looked at it as creating my own identity. It was not just about breaking away from, they say, like the Khan family. I remember telling my son one day, I woke up in the morning, we were chatting and having chai, and I said to him, I said, was I put on this earth to just be your mother or someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's daughter? I said, what about me? Like, you know what, I feel like I want my life to count for something. And I want to be able to look back, or my kids to look back and see their mum as something more than just a wife, a mum, a daughter. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was my driving point. For me, it was just a shift that happened, that was my driving point, that there has to be more to me. Okay, you know what I mean? I mean, along with this, of course, that is my priority. My children will and always will be my #1 priority. Anything I do in my life, if it is not okay with them, I ain't doing it.
For sure, of course.
I ain't doing it. Whether it's this show or whether it's moving on, any big decision in my life never happens if they're not okay with it. That's my responsibility as a mom, and that's my responsibility to them. That they need to be comfortable first. But beyond that, I also need to have an identity, and I also need for them to look back and somewhere be proud of me. And and I hope that it will in turn affect their relationships with the women they choose to have in their lives.
And from one woman to another, I feel like you've done that beautifully, because I understand the repercussions of it that can happen if something falls out, especially when it's all over. And then at the same time, when things fall in place and you manage to do it really well, it's a different high. But as a mom, did it bother you when there was so much going around as far as the threats were concerned? You have your kids there, you yourself are out there. Did you get perturbed, like, why is all of this even happening?
Of course I'm concerned. I'm always concerned. It's but natural. I'm concerned for everyone. I'm not just concerned for my kids or whatever. I'm concerned for all of them. Quite frankly, like I said, I may have, I've moved on, and Sohail may have moved on, and we have 2 children, and at the end of the day, if that's their family, that's also mine. It's a family.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm attached to them and I'm connected to them for life. So the thing is, and I've spent so many years in that house, and to a large extent, being married, being in that marriage, and whatever my journey has been, has shaped me into the woman I am today. So I can only be grateful for it.
What's that misconception about Seema that you feel should get busted, and I'm allowing you to do it right away?
Misconception. I don't know if there's any. I think after 3 seasons and watching myself, this is who I am. Quite frankly, there's no really misconception about me. This is, I come filter free. What you see is what you get. What I say is the way it is.
Okay, then help me bust a misconception about being an independent working mother, so as that inspires a lot more mothers watching.
I think being an independent working mother, firstly, I just want to say that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So, sometimes you got to be selfish to be kind, because if you're going to be, it's only when you are happy and content can you can impart happiness, or around you, your surroundings can be happy. As an unhappy mother, my kids would not be happy. They don't want to see a mom who's irritable and anxious and snappy and walking on eggshells around their mothers, right? So you need to be a happy person to make another human being happy. So I think that's very important. Self-love, really honestly, self-love, and being a single mom is not easy. It's hard, but you're not alone. There's a whole bunch of us doing it. You're definitely not the first, and you're definitely not the last.
Right.
So it's a struggle every day, but also being in a marriage and juggling is also hard. Relationships are hard. All relationships are hard. If you're going to be in a relationship with, whether it's with your kids or with your husband or your in-laws or your parents or your siblings, your friends, it's work. What is important? has to be worked on, and you got to prioritize.
Yeah. You know, the bond with Gauri that you all share is so beautiful to watch. I feel like every single time I'm going on air and when I see that table happening with Karan and Gauri and all of you all, I'm just like, can I be a bee on that wall and sit here and exactly here when the cameras are off, what are they talking about? Tell me one thing that didn't make it on air and probably you all were like, damn, this was fun, it should have gone on air.
You mean this season?
Yeah, or anything, any other season as well.
I think, you know, honestly, a lot of things should have not been on air, quite frankly. But I think that night Gauri decided to make me the punching bag, as in like that, I was a target.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of my life was outed because I asked for it. I put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was literally asked for it. So there's nothing that was off. Let me tell you one thing. All the juicy stuff you think they're not going to put on air.
They will.
They are not leaving that out. Maybe some boring tidbits they leave out, but the good stuff is all in there, trust me.
And I feel with that good stuff, there are many more seasons coming in. So I feel nobody's leaving y'all. Y'all are going to be rounded and pounded like very soon. Come on. Super successful season. We know there's something else going to come soon.
I don't know as yet, but fingers crossed. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, so now tell me, lastly, before I let you go, the Seema that you are right now and with so much happening, tell me a goal or two you must have set for yourself for the coming year, since we're like now in Diwali and there's going to be New Year's. Have you thought of something?
You know, I stopped asking and wanting things a long time ago. What I do, it's not a goal as much as something that I do want. Like my son is now 24, he's on the brink of like choosing what he wants to do with his life. My younger one is now settled and he's 13 and a half. I just want my kids to be content, happy human beings.
Right.
Whatever they choose, I want them to take all of this glamour and, you know, this privileged life, all of it with a big bucket of salt, and realize that you know, at the end of the day, what really matters in the time we are living in today is mental health.
Yeah.
Like, I really do believe that mental health is a problem. The world is we are moving at such a fast pace that I just want them to understand that whatever you choose in your life, your night's sleep is the most important thing ever.
Yeah.
For your health and your happiness, it is so important. So I think what I really do wish for as a mom is that my kids are content human beings wherever they are and whatever they choose to do, and I'll always be behind them 100%.
This is what happens when you're a mother. I think you always prioritize your children first, and then I feel your own goals sort of take like a backseat, and they are the precedence of everything.
For me, I'm just open to new experiences. I'm constantly learning stuff. I'm constantly, I try not to make any erratic decisions anymore, choices, but I'm impulsive, and I think, you know what, I'm just looking forward to enjoying my life and making memories with people I love, and you know, I cherish that with my parents, with my siblings. We're a very tight-knit family and I never take it for granted, and it's touch wood.
And we do want to see more of you on the screen as well. I feel like I'm saying this out of my personal thing, so when me and my girls are chatting, we would always be like, listen, if I'm ever a mom and if I'm in my 40s, I want to look like Malla. And now we've changed that. Listen, we also want to look like Seema. How is she managing to look this pretty? Tell me a secret.
She is my inspiration. To be honest, Malla is a huge inspiration to me as a person, as a human being, as a woman. I look up to her. And even where this is concerned, it's hard work. It's exhausting and it's very hard work, and I fall off the wagon all the time, but as long as you keep getting back on the wagon and you keep focusing, I think you just have to make choices. Everything in life is about choices you make, and it's hard work.
And then we look like you after all the hard work. But Seema, thank you so very much. I think you're very real, very candid, very open, and I think we love that about you. On show, off show, I feel we can vouch for it. It's all real because we see the real you. Thank you so much for moving time and chatting with India today.
Thank you for having me.